Good morning, classmates. Good morning, ma'am. I am Maria Elena E. Suarez. I will report creating effective organizational designs. Learning objectives. After reading this chapter, you should have a good understanding of learning objectives 1, the growth patterns of major corporations and the relationship between the firm's strategy and its structure. Learning objectives 2, each of the traditional types of organizational structure: simple, functional, divisional, and matrix. Learning objectives 3, the implication of a firm's international operations for organizational structure. 4. Learning objectives 4, the different types of boundary list organizations: barrier-free, modular, and virtual, and their relative advantages and disadvantages. Learning objectives 5, the need for creating ambidextrous organizational designs that enable firms to explore new opportunities and effectively integrate existing operations. Organizational structure. Consider to implement strategies successfully, firms must have appropriate organizational designs. How should a firm coordinate internal operations, and how should a firm integrate its operations with external parties? How can these internal and external boundaries be made both flexible and permeable? Organizational structure. Organizational structure refers to formalized patterns of interactions linking tasks, technologies, people. Structure provides a balance between the need for division of tasks into meaningful groupings. Second, the need to integrate these groupings for maximum efficiency and effectiveness. Organizational structure, simple structure. The simple organizational structure is the oldest and most common organizational form where, first, the organization is small with a single or very narrow product line. Second, the owner-manager makes most of the decisions. Third, the staff is an extension of the top executive personality. Organizational structure, simple structure, advantages and disadvantages. Advantages. First, highly informal. Second, coordination of tasks by direct supervision. Third, centralized decision making. Fourth, little specialization. Fifth, few rules and regulations, informal reward system. Disadvantages. First, employees may not understand their responsibilities. Second, employees may take advantage of lack of regulations. Third, limited opportunities for upward mobility. Organizational structures, functional structure. The functional organizational structure is where the major functions of the firm are grouped internally. First, the organization is small with a single or closely related product or service and high production volume. Second, the owner-manager needs specialize in various functional areas. Third, the chief executive has responsibility for coordination and integration of the functional areas. Advantages and disadvantages. Advantages. First, enhanced coordinations and control. Second, centralized decision making. Third, enhanced organizational level perspective. Fourth, more efficient use of managerial and technical talent. Fifth, facilitated career paths in specialized areas. Disadvantages: impeded communication and coordination due differences in values and orientations, silos. Second, may lead to short-term thinking. Third, difficult to establish uniform performance standards. Organizational structures, divisional structure. The divisional organizational structure is where products, projects, or product markets are grouped internally. First, divisions are relatively autonomous, consisting of products and services that are different from those of other divisions. Second, each division includes its own functional specialists, typically organized into departments. Third, division executives help determine product, market, and financial objectives. Divisional structure advantages and disadvantages. Advantages. First, separation of strategic and operating control. Second, quicker response to changes in the market environment. Third, minimal problems, sharing resources. Fourth, development of general management talent is enhanced. Disadvantages: can be very expensive. Second, can lead to dysfunctional competition among divisions. Third, differences in image and quality may occur across divisions. Fourth, can focus on short-term performance. Organizational structure, strategic business unit. The strategic business unit's structure is where similar products or markets are grouped into units to achieve synergy. First, variation of the divisional structure. Second, synergies are achieved through related diversification, core competencies, shared infrastructures, market power. Third, each of SBUS operates as a profit center. Strategic business unit advantages and disadvantages. Advantages: first, planning and control done by the corporate office. Second, decentralization of authority. Third, quicker response to changes in the market environment. Fourth, synergies through sharing core competences, infrastructures, and market power. Disadvantages: first, can be difficult to achieve synergies. Second, increased personnel and overhead expenses. Third, corporate office further removed from the divisions. Fourth, corporate unaware of key changes in market conditions. Example challenges of divisional structure. Johnson & Johnson has more than 275 operating companies located in 60 countries and sells products in virtually all countries around the world. Second, G&G is organized into 3 business segments: consumer, pharmaceutical and medical device, and diagnostic. A centralized SBU divisional structure. How to keep autonomy while also developing synergies between the business units. How to extend control mechanism across division to better monitor performance. Organizational structures, holding company structure. The holding company structure is where businesses in a corporation's portfolio are the result of unrelated diversification. Variation on the divisional structure. Second, similarities are few, so synergies are limited. Third, operating divisions have autonomy. Fourth, corporate staffs are small and have limited involvement, relying on the financial controls and incentive programs to obtain performance. Holding company structure advantages and disadvantages. Advantages. First, cost savings due to fewer personnel and lower overhead. Second, divisional autonomy increases motivation level of divisional executives. Third, quicker response to change in the market environment. Disadvantages. First, potential for synergies is very limited. Second, corporate office has little control. Third, difficult to replace key divisional executives if they leave. Fourth, turned around may be difficult due to limited corporate staff support. The organizational structures, matrix structure. The matrix organizational structure is where functional departments are combined with product groups on a project basis. First, functional departments, products, groups, and geographical units are combined. Second, individuals have two managers. Third, project managers and functional managers share responsibility. Matrix structure advantages and disadvantages. Advantages. First, increases market responsiveness, collaborations, and synergies. Second, allows more efficient utilization of resources. Third, improves flexibility, coordination, and communication. Fourth, increases professional development. Disadvantages. Dual reporting relationship lead to uncertainty regarding accountability. Second, can lead to power struggles and conflict. Third, human resources are duplicated. Fourth, decision making takes longer. Organizational structures, international operations. Firms with internal operations must consider a structure based on the following. First, the type of strategy that is driving the firm's foreign operations. Second, the degree of product diversity. Third, the extent to which a firm is dependent on foreign sales. Organizational structures, international operations. Multi-domestic strategies used. First, international division structure. Second, geographic area division structure. Third, worldwide matrix structure. Global strategies used. First, worldwide functional structure. Second, worldwide product division structure. Third, worldwide holding company structure. Organizational structures, international operations. A global startup. First, uses inputs from around the world. Second, sells its products and services to consumers around the world. Third, has communication and coordination challenges. Fourth, has less resources than well-established corporations. Fifth, must use less costly administrative mechanisms. Six, frequently chooses a boundary list organizational designs. Organizational structures boundary list designs. A boundary list organizational design makes these boundaries more permeable. Vertical boundaries between organizational levels. Second, horizontal boundaries between functional areas. Third, external boundaries between the firm and its customers, suppliers, and regulators. Fourth, geographic boundaries between location, cultures, and markets. Boundary list designs include barrier-free, modular, and virtual organizations. Organization structure boundary list design. A barrier-free organization has permeable internal and external boundaries and requires, first, higher level of trust and shared interests. Second, shift in philosophy from executive development to organizational development. Third, greater use of terms. Fourth, flexible for use organizational boundaries. Fifth, communication flows and mutually beneficial relationship with both internal and external constituencies. Organizational structures, boundary list designs, pros and cons. Pros: leverage the talents all employees. Second, enhance cooperation, coordination, and information sharing among function divisions. SBUs, SB, SBAs, and external constituencies. Third, enables a quicker response to market changes through a single goal focus. Fourth, can lead to coordinated win-win initiatives with key suppliers, customers, and alliance partners. Cons: difficult to overcome political and authority boundaries inside and outside the organization. Second, lacks strong leadership and common vision, which can lead to coordination problems. Third, time consuming and difficult to manage democratic processes. Fourth, lacks high levels of trust, which can impede performance. Organizational structures, boundary list designs. A modular organization requires seamless relationship with external organizations. First, outsources non-vital function or non-core activities to outsiders. Second, activates knowledge and expertise of best-in-class suppliers but retains strategic control. Third, focuses scarce resources on key areas. Fourth, accelerates organizational learning. Fifth, decreases overall cost, leverage capital. Organizational structure, boundary list designs, pros and cons. Pros: first, directs affirms managerial and technical talent to the most critical activities. Second, maintains full strategic control over most critical activities core competencies. Second, achieve best-in-class performance each link in the value chain. Fourth, leverage core competencies by outsourcing with smaller capital commitment. Fifth, encourages information sharing and accelerates organizational learning. Cons: inhibits common vision through reliance on outsiders. Second, diminishes future competitive advantages if critical technologies or other competencies are outsourced. Third, increases the difficulty of bringing back into the firm's activities that now add value due the market shifts. Fourth, leads to the erosion of cross-functional skills. Fifth, decreases operational control and potential loss of control over a supplier. Organizational structures, boundary list designs. A virtual organization requires forming alliances with multiple internal partners. First, continually involving network of independent companies. Second, link together to share skills, costs, and access to one another markets. Third, coping with uncertainty through cooperative efforts. Fourth, each gains from insulting individual and organizational learning. Fifth, may not be permanent. Organizational structures, boundary list designs, pros and cons. Pros, first, enables the sharing of costs and skills. Second, enhance access to global markets. Third, increases market responsiveness. Fourth, creates best of everything organization since each partner bring core competencies to the alliance. Fifth, encourages both individual and organizational knowledge sharing and accelerates organizational learning. Cons. First, harder to determine where one company ends and another begins due to close enterprises among players. Second, leads to potential loss of operational control and among partners. Third, results in loss of strategic control over emerging technology. Fourth, requires new and difficult to acquire managerial skills. Example of virtual organization. This textbook is published by McGraw-Hill Education. Putting the textbook and supplemental material together is done by a written team. First, the authors live in Texas, Michigan, and New York. Second, the editors work in Illinois. Third, the text compositors are in India. Fourth, the PowerPoint and case teaching notes authors work out of her home in Connecticut. Fifth, deadlines are coordinated by the image editors in Illinois to pull the book together and arrange for distribution. Organizational structure boundary list designs. A boundary list organizational requires mechanisms to ensure effective coordination and integration. First, common culture and shared values. Second, horizontal organizational structures. Third, horizontal system and processes. Fourth, communications and information technologies. Fifth, human resource practices. Awareness of benefits and costs of developing lasting internal and external relationships. Organizational structures, boundary list designs, benefits and costs. Benefits. First, agency costs are reduced through the use of relational system. Second, transaction costs between the firm and its suppliers are reduced. Third, individual participants are less likely to perceive a conflict of interest. Cost. Relationship between individuals become more important than profits. Second, conflicts are resolved through hook negotiations and processes. Third, relationships are driven more by social connection than by needed competencies. Organizational structures, ambidextrous designs. Ambidextrous organizational designs address two contradictory challenges. First, how to maintain adaptability. Second, how to achieve alignment. Second, ambidextrous organizations. First, are aligned and efficient while they pursue modest incremental innovations. Second, are flexible enough to adapt to changes in the internal environment and create dramatic breakthrough innovations. Last, organizational structure ambidextrous designs. Ambidextrous organizational designs first effectively integrate and coordinate existing operations. Second, establish project teams that are structurally independent units. Third, pay attention to each unit's processes, structures, and cultures. Fourth, effectively integrate each unit into the existing management hierarchy.